I really like this show, but there was a lot of inconsistencies. Like, there's a thing in this show, two things actually. There is no swearing in the barber shop, even after Pop's death. And Luke Cage does not like being called the N-word. Well, both of those things happen and they aren't acknowledged. Most of the time they are, but there's quite a few times where there's not. And just here's one example for both of them. There's a scene where they're in the barber shop and he says goddamn. Luke does acknowledge it and say it's a cuss word and tells him to put some money in the swear jar. But in like maybe the next episode or 2 episodes later, he says that exact same word during an argument with Luke in the barber shop. But Luke doesn't tell him to pay. And then there's another episode where he says shit and he's not told to pay. And then when Stryker is, when he has the Judas bullets and he shoots Luke the second time, he calls him the N-word during that scene. But Luke does not say anything about that, even though he's shown throughout the show how much he's hated people calling him that. I just thought it was stupid how unlikable they made Cottonmouth. He was such a good villain. He was very entertaining to watch. And then in his final scene, he blames a rape victim for being raped. That is like one of the worst things you can do to just ruin a character. Though I do wish we would have got to see Luke Cage versus Cottonmouth. Especially since we got him for half the season. He was in like 6 or 7 episodes. But not once did him and Luke Cage fight. Which I think is stupid. And Shades, he was in almost all the episodes. And I don't think him and Luke ever fought either. Not for 13 episodes. He got beat up by Misty Knight and Candace. I did like that they called him Power Man a few times because that's what he goes by for a little bit in the comics. And he even has his Power Man outfit for like, I think a minute or 2. But that's about it. Oh, and there's a Stan Lee cameo in this, but not really a cameo. His picture is on a wall. I think it said help wanted or something, I don't remember. It's during the scene where Luke Cage goes to stop a robbery, which I'm going to actually talk about that scene, because there actually was something wrong with that scene. Luke sees a cop car, so he stops and starts reading a magazine to try and blend in. And the cop car drives by, and then he notices 2 people going into a shop to rob it. So he goes in there, beats them up. They actually fire a few shots, but nobody hears them. You would think that a civilian would hear it. And since the cop wasn't that far away, the cop should have been on the scene. But I guess that's not how logic works. And, what else? I really like Shades. He was a pretty cool villain. I really like the lawyer scene, where he keeps saying lawyer. And when the cop tries to put pressure on him by being like, hey, you're going to go to jail for 25 years at minimum. And he's like, oh, really? And then he makes you think for a little bit that he's actually worried. And then he's like, okay, I'll tell you the name. And then he goes, lawyer. It was a pretty funny scene. And also the scene with Luke putting Turk in a garbage can was pretty funny too. But that was more of the dialogue during the scene too. And yeah, Turk is in this show. I'm pretty sure this show came before Punisher, so I guess he was established in this show. I just thought he was some random guy. But yeah, this is a pretty good show. It does pretty good with Luke Cage. It's pretty entertaining at times. And it's Luke Cage. Why not watch it? Luke Cage is one of the best heroes there is. So, I can't wait to start watching season 2.